meetings and stuff.
Hey, my bad. My fault. That is, I should have checked with you before we even put this on the calendar. I'm sorry.
Add that to your SOP.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll put that on the SOP. Yeah. Yeah, just for you, Dennis. We'll make sure we're around your calendar.
I'm just messing with you guys. If y'all don't know, I do it a lot.
We know. All right. Today we're going to be talking about kind of school specific operating. We talked about a lot of business operating in general. But now we're going to talk about the platform itself and using it to your advantage. This is it's going to be a chill day, and then after we're going to talk about what comes next. All right. Sound good? Let's get into it. Santi, you want to take it away? Should I take it away? Or do we both?
You can go ahead and get it started.
Okay. So, onboarding a creator on Skool, creating a Skool community. If you notice, if you've been in the community for a little while, you might notice that's a little similar to Odyssey. So it's basically doing Odyssey for your creator. It's setting all of that up, getting the Skool community itself, and hopefully using the Captivate or Goosify referral link. Kevin, what's up? And then, setting up. We just started, by the way, Kevin, you didn't miss a whole lot, but getting all of the systems set up in place, like the community, the post categories, the calendar, the classroom, getting all of that set up, and then getting the creator familiar with what they need to do. So probably getting them familiar with using the calendar and setting up the calls that work best for them, say if they're weekly, etc. Anything else you want to add, Santi?
Yeah, not necessarily. Generally, like it's also going to depend on the amount of responsibility that you have with the creator. Sometimes it'll involve a little bit more work than just, entirely focusing on the school. And so there's a whole like onboarding process you want to have with them. You want to make sure, again, depending on the responsibility, that you get any login information that you need from their accounts, that you get any important like data that you need in order to set things up properly for them. And so just making sure to not leave anything out. And if you do, it's like, not a huge deal. And you can always just go back to it. But just making sure to have everything for that.
Yeah. And of course, Dennis, like you're a creator yourself. So if it's the opposite way, then having an operator that can get you familiar with Skool. If you're already familiar with Skool, then, this part you can kind of skip, as well as the full initial setup. I know, Dennis, you've got your Skool set up pretty well. And then community moderation. What's with the face? It's set up well. It's good. Anyway, community moderation, community engagement, both of these kind of go up together. Moderation is kind of a pretty standard self-explanatory thing. The operator is probably going to take most of this on, at least in the beginning. And then moving forward, as the team expands, you could probably just have the whole team doing it. It's more of a passive thing, making sure that the posts are good quality, that they're relevant, that there's no self-promotion, etc. And there are also software like Fiducia and things like that you could hire. But again, it should be pretty easy in the beginning to take care of, and then you can deal with it as you grow. Engagement is the hard part, though, when you start out. But there are plenty of different things that people do. Obviously, they're not the easiest, but overall, it's just a growing pain that everyone gets past. So don't worry about it too much if you're a new operator or new creator. But as you get more people in, you're making new content, you nurture them by DMing them and building relationships with them. This also goes hand in hand with having good membership questions before they even join. So getting their email and making sure you have, consistency. I will get to that as well. But the memberships, before they even join, you want to make sure that you're getting good quality people in your community. So making sure that you have their email when they're joining, just to filter out kind of even the lower quality bots. And then maybe asking a question. I think for Goosify, we usually ask like if they want to have a call with Goose. I can actually check because we change it all the time, but let me check. Plugins. Oh, we actually turned it off. Oh wait, that's for 3D. 2D. Okay, so we keep it pretty simple, just giving us their email and then asking them what they want help with the most, depending on your offer. That just varies for that. You could take it a step further and ask them even more personal questions. Like, for example, if you look at Real Men, Real Style by Antonio Cent, that's a community on Skool. He asks them like a specific question about like what outfit would you wear to like a date night or something. And that's pretty damn hard to get past if you're a bot. So, but it's also pretty hard to get past if you're a regular person. So it just kind of depends on if you want more people or higher quality people. There's that balance there. But then once you get people in, Dennis, like you said, consistency. You know, you post consistently. You nurture people consistently by responding to their DMs and helping them out with anything. Santi, if you want to add to that.
Yeah, no, as you mentioned, it's pretty straightforward. For the most part, operators are able to take this on. It's not necessarily something you need an entire role for, unless you have like several communities with thousands and thousands of members, or you want stuff going out like all the time or something. But yeah, just pretty straightforward. Membership questions are great. For my creator, personally, we only have a low ticket that's paid and then a high ticket one. So our moderation is a bit more relaxed because we don't have a free one just yet. Um, and so it makes it much easier to, have that filter of the people coming in. So for paid communities, it's generally a bit easier. But you want to make sure that, the creator's still active in there because that's what's going to lead a lot of that engagement. If no one sees the creator in there, it's kind of hard to get, people excited about showing up in there or asking questions in there. But if the creator's actively in there, replying to things, sharing stuff, it makes it a lot more exciting for the other members. And so you really want to make sure that the creator doesn't just like disappear, or at least if you're the one making the post as the operator, you're able to do them from their account so that it at least seems like it's the creator. And that way you kind of keep things a bit more engaged and stuff. And of course, in order to like know how to filter things, you have to have a good idea of what it is that you want to have in the community, and you have to set the standards for like, okay, we're going to allow this, we're not going to allow this, and so forth. And that's going to allow you to make decisions for when is a post, good and when should it be removed, etc. And hey, Karen, just how you join.
Hello, yes, I saw it and I was like, it's going right now.
Yeah, perfect. We're basically just going over kind of the fundamentals of Skool, on like, how to get a creator on there, get that initial setup. And we just went over stuff like community moderation and engagement for it.
All right. Do we have any questions before we move on? Nope. Okay, cool. And then Ascension. What I have not said before, which I'll say now, is I'm actually an operator of Goosify and AIpreneurs currently. And so this mostly applies to AIpreneurs rather than Goosify because we're not really focused on Ascension right now in Goosify. We're just kind of having fun in the community. But for AIpreneurs, the way they have it set up currently is they have account managers in both the free and the paid community. And they try to get people ascended to the paid community. And then the people that are in the paid community, they try to ascend them to an annual membership. What's up, Micah? And so the way that will work usually in the beginning is, of course, the operator is going to be nurturing people and trying to ascend them over time. It's kind of just you build relationships with people, and then that's such a cute dog. You build relationships with people, and then you just it's normal business from the beginning. But as you grow the community, obviously you'll have people doing account management and upsells for people. And I can get into that, but I feel like it would do you a disservice from the beginning because it's mostly just regular sales. And then DM management, which we touched on, like the operator will usually log into the creator's account, or they'll even have a specific person like an appointment setter. If we're a larger business like Ted Carr, they have someone log into Ted's account and then they DM people right when they come in the door to try to book a little free call with them or to just nurture them over time if they don't want to do a call. And then client success, again, like for all of these, it's the operator doing it in the beginning. And then as you move on, as you keep expanding, you give it to someone else. But for client success, of course, the operator is helping with that as well. If the creator is doing mostly content, etc., the operator is going to help people whenever they're stuck. They're going to respond to their comments and their DMs. Santi, you probably know more about client success than I do.
Yeah, I'd also want to add some things for Ascension, which is, and I don't want to like go too deep into it because it can get really complex. But as with most things in this business, it varies a lot based off of the creator and the situation and the goals that you guys have. For example, there's even like ways of doing kind of like backwards. Like with my creator, we first have our high ticket stuff on the front end, and then anything else, like if someone isn't the right fit for it or it's not the right time, we can always just downsell them into our low ticket. And then from the low ticket, we have different ways, and there's so many different ways that you can do this. And so you can, take one or the other way of sending people, or just do a combination of all of them. One of them is, the part of the DM management in a way with having setters or you as the operator doing the setting from the creator's accounts, just like having conversations with people. Generally, I have like the auto DM that's on, and so that will like start a conversation with them, and then you can keep that conversation going to see if they might be a good fit to be ascended. You can have different things in the classroom. For example, if you have some initial modules or something that are in the low ticket or the free, and then to unlock the other ones you have to ascend, you can include that as a link in the classroom, and so they automatically are sent to ascend. There's just so many different ways of looking at it, and you can get really creative with it. And so there's not, only one specific way of doing that, and you have to just like be able to look in and see what's the best and most effective way for your specific creator. For client success, this looks very different depending on the ticket of the offer as well. If you have a high ticket offer, you might be having, say, weekly calls with the individual members to check on their progress. Some offers might even have a specific person just for this who follows all of the members' journeys, is jumping on calls with them every week, making sure that they're making the progress that they want to make and that they're getting the results that they want to get from the program. Whereas with a low ticket, it might not be, as personalized and intense as that. And it might just be, like a monthly check-in or just through DMs, not necessarily on a call. But the whole purpose of the client success is to make sure that all the people are getting those results that they want, they're finding value, they're enjoying the process, and also for you as the operator to receive feedback for what can be improved, what needs to change, and any new ideas that may be added. You can get all of that feedback from those calls and those conversations with the members themselves.
Cool. Do we have any questions so far? Just want to check in. No.
In terms of per your question, and I'm gonna read that out. Can operators get creators' banking details by logging into their account? I actually don't know because I've never tried it. I'm actually about to try it for my creator's account, but I think you might. But overall, for some operators, even in some cases, like you have access to like all of that information sometimes, simply based off of the situation you have, because some operators might even help specifically with accounting stuff and managing that as well. And so this is all also going to depend on the amount of responsibility that you have with your creator. Of course, in order to get to that point, you probably have to get the trust, and of course, I would never suggest taking advantage of that or anything. And if you know you're helping them and you're gaining as you help them, then it doesn't make sense to like screw them over. Um, and so yeah, just overall, this comes down to like basic values and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, like it depends on the setup. Some operators have full access of all the finances with
Yeah.
no issue.
And
So
the creator can also give you like your account billing access,
yeah,
either to the operator or the accountant or whoever. That's what it's there for. What if they bring it up when I ask for their account? Yeah, so it's kind of like a major. So they don't have access to your, or excuse me, the operator wouldn't have access to the creator's full banking details.
exactly.
They can like update the payment method and potentially, I guess, get payouts, I guess. But that does come with a layer of trust for sure, which I think is a great reason why you guys are here in Flight Deck, is because we are kind of the middleman. We take that risk for you. And we make sure that we filter between like who's a good operator and who's someone that's trying to scam. It's definitely something that can be an issue, but I wouldn't worry about it too much at this stage. We'll be talking about the negotiations when it comes to reaching out to creators. Yeah. Can operators get creators? What method do you prefer for client feedback? A Google form, discuss on call, etc. So there are definitely a lot of different ways to do that. For Goosify, for Blitz, we used a Google form. We were just kind of trying that out, and that worked pretty well. I've also used that in AIpreneurs, and it works pretty well. The problem with a Google form is just people might go a certain way or another depending on like if they have to put their name. They might be a little less honest because they don't want to be seen as like a bad customer, and same thing like on a call. Whereas like if it's anonymous, then you have no idea who has the opinion. So it's kind of a tricky balance. But I think like regardless, a Google form or discussing on call is good. Discussing on call is better for like more detailed feedback and more like they're not stuck to like a multiple choice question. Like they can speak their mind freely and discuss it with other people on the call. And maybe even if they have bad feedback and you guys are on a group call, other people can like help them fix that feedback, and it'll actually be helpful for you. So it kind of depends on what kind of feedback you're looking for. Do you have anything in mind?
Yeah, a really good point about if it's anonymous or email is associated with the form. Do you find, off the top of your head, do you find that you maybe get more responses when it's anonymous versus attach a name?
Yeah, it hasn't been like a huge difference. I think mostly because people don't really realize whether or not their email is attached.
Right.
Like that's what I've noticed is like Google doesn't make it like totally obvious whether or not it's attached. So I guess people get confused. But yeah, it's you definitely get more responses on there regardless than say like on a call, because you know it takes more effort to join a call, and most people are like active in the community but they don't join the calls.
Right. Okay. Yeah, good points. Thank you.
So what kind of feedback are you looking for? Sorry, I don't know anything about like your community or anything, so just curious.
Oh, just thinking through all the different types of feedback, like if it's service feedback, like on coaching, it's kind of like, are you asking for a testimony, or you could inquire about what could be better here? What's working, what could be better? And just thinking, sometimes people see that invitation to share feedback, but then they overthink it, or they think tomorrow, and it can be hard to get any amount of feedback. But thinking which communication channel could be best: a Google form, a poll, if it was in, Skool, for example, just making it as easy as possible. Sometimes quantity over quality, maybe.
Yeah, if it's after like a call, like a service call or something, you could even have someone DM them directly and send them the link to like a Google form, or ask them the questions directly. And that'll probably get you some really quality responses, because it's just a one-on-one chat. Especially if it's like obviously you don't want the person doing the call themselves to reach out, because that's an awkward conversation. But like, if say you have an operator doing the call, or someone underneath the operator doing the call, then someone else, say the creator, or even the operator in the creator's account, DMing them and saying, hey, do you have any feedback? We have this questionnaire, you could even win a prize, blah blah blah.
Right.
That'll get people.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. And if you're really looking for testimonials, one thing that Alex Ramosi says, which is a really great idea, is like saying like the manager, whoever is above whoever was doing the service call, will reach out to that person, that customer, and say, hey, if you leave us a 5-star or a good review, a good testimonial, then so and so will get a bonus. They'll get $50 or something like that. And so it's really cool. And then real quick, Karen, just 1 second. Methods for anonymous feedback. Google Forms, again, you can make it so that they don't collect emails or anything, so that works. And then, yeah, that's the only one top of mind that you could use. I'm sure there are other forms online that you could find, but Google Forms are like the most popular that I've seen. All right. Sorry, Karen, you can go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. I just want to share that, for example, some of the strategies regarding like when we're gonna need the feedback. One is like, for example, doing kind of like a contest, like, hey everyone, that all the people that help us with this yes a forum, or yes, feedback, we're gonna give like two of you, I don't know, any prize or something that is gonna be value for them. And just that, like, to give something in exchange, like it's gonna be like random. We do like a short live, like giving that prize and that sorteo. I don't know. I don't know how. Yes, I forgot that word, but yes, that. And the other one is like when we are doing like a online webinars or something, we stop the class like in the middle, and we said like, hey, we need your help. If we want to continue, we really need your help. 2 minutes. Please help us to fill out this form, because we need to improve, to bring more value to you guys. And the only way we are going to know that is if you help us with this. Don't worry, we are not going to check names. We just need to know from you, what do you need? Something like that. So we're just those two. So in real time, we are checking, like, let's say we are 6 now. So I need to see 6 firms. So if we are close to 6, we say like, okay, now let's continue. If no, we say like, come on, you can do it. We're gonna really help to improve. This is only for you guys, things like that. And then we continue. So we take the action, like just right there. We are not gonna let them to leave and then set the form, because that does not bring like huge results.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. Stopping in the middle of the webinars, because people are already engaged, they're there. So it's a great feedback. Thank you, Karen. Appreciate it. Yeah, Joseph, that's a great idea. Adding that to the software. I don't think me and Santi have much control over it. They won't let us into the nitty gritty of what's going on there. But we'll I'll definitely have that as my feedback for them, that they should add that, because I think that would be really cool. But yeah. So moving on, unless you guys have any more questions, Kevin, I hope my answer earlier answered your question. Yeah. All good. All good. Okay, cool. Santi is like the master of webinars, so I'm gonna let him talk about that because I don't really run those much.
I wouldn't say I'm a master of webinars,
Hey,
but
50K.
appreciate it.
Yeah, whatever.
That wasn't a webinar though.
Oh, was it not? What was it?
No, I've told you like 2 times.
What
It's
was the
just
webinar?
it was a landing page, which I guess in a way, is similar. But anyway, um, so for webinars, there's many different ways of going about these. Um, And it's all also, as always, I feel like I say this every time now, it depends a lot on your specific goals and what you're specifically trying to do with your creator. Some people might have their webinar, for example, in the free community. It can be like a monthly call and where it's like a workshop. And the main thing that you want to like have in these webinars that you provide a lot of value up front for like the first 50 minutes, and then you just use the very end to go ahead and sell or upsell your members to what it is you're trying to upsell them to. And so I feel like the community one is probably the like simplest one that you can go about, especially on Skool, so that you don't have to, build on a full landing page for the webinar, collect all the emails in order to remind them about the webinar, then get a separate like webinar software to use and run the webinar. So to kind of avoid all of that, you can just have it be like a monthly workshop call in your free or low ticket community. You provide a ton of the value in that workshop, and then at the end you just have that CTA to upsell your members. So this does kind of go together with the ascension side of things. If you do want to do it separately, it's a bit more complicated, um, but it also works. And the main thing you want to keep in mind is that you want to have people remember it. You want to have them sign up a bit in advance, hopefully. So if it's something that you do every month, it's something that people, get into the habit of looking forward to. And if you do it well and you provide a ton of value showing that authority, then you should be able to at least make a few sales for what it is you're trying to sell. And this is honestly a topic that we could dive into a whole flight deck day for. Russell Brunson has some really good content on webinars as well. There are even some like automated webinars where you kind of like record it, and it's also kind of similar to the like free training funnel, where it's like you offer something where they learn a lot, and then towards the end you have a call to action for them to take the next step. And I really love those. I see them work really, really well, and that way the creator also doesn't have to be there at like each one. It's generally good for at least the first few for the creator to be the one doing those webinars so that he gets into the habit of it. He sees the questions that come up. That way you can polish up the webinar so that once you record that like free training, you know that it answers the questions that most people already have on those webinars, and that it provides value to the people, because then you can just set it up. People will go through it. At the end, it'll have that CTA, and then from there, you can make those sales. Yeah, exactly. The Perfect Webinar Script by Russell Brunson. It's really good. I highly recommend it if you want to focus on running webinars. So yeah.
Dope. Anyone have anything to add? Any questions, discussions, feedback on webinars, or any of the other things? Going once.
Yeah, for example, something that you have been like getting experience with the webinars. What do you find like the most like the ways for them like bring the webinar, like for example payment or options? How do you manage that, for example in the live session, or then you close and keep engaged with them, I don't know, maybe through Skool or uh, any other group, like to confirm the payment or something like that, or that's just for the sellers that.
So this is gonna depend on the structure. If it's not like something super high ticket, you can have people sent directly to the purchasing page. And it's also really good that if you do this, you can have the creator like be saying, oh, so and so just joined. This person just purchased as well. Glad to have you as the sales are coming in because it's one of the strategies that works really well because people on the webinar will hear, that others are joining. And you can just send them directly to the purchasing page. So if it's on Skool, for example, if you're upselling from the free to a low ticket, you can just send the link and have people join in on call directly. If it's something a bit more high ticket, what you'll want to do is send them to a page where they can book a call, and you want these sales calls to be like really close in date. You don't want them to be able to book out like more than 3 days in advance because then your show rate is going to drop on those calls. And so you just want to have those scheduled in. And then on the call, generally what I do, I process everything through Skool, even high ticket stuff. And so what it'll be is that it'll either just be like the max annual price or it'll be split also annually. And then it'll be like they pay half of it. For example, if it's a 5K high ticket offer, they'll pay 2.5K this month and then say 2.5K the next month. And so that's generally how I have it set up in terms of the payment, but I just use Skool for everything. I used to work at WAP, which is known to be a popular processor as well, kind of a competitor to Skool. But they take a percentage of everything. And so if you know that you're going to be making a lot of money with, say, a high ticket offer, then the fees on there are like crazy. And so that's why I don't process on WAP. And then on Stripe, that would be my like only other suggestion, unless you're taking something like Zelle in the US or something like that, which is a bit like cleaner. But I rather just run everything on Skool and not have to like think about all this other stuff.
All right, got it. Thank you. Yeah. I think as well is like working with the creator like about the strategy. Sometimes they add like quick bonus for quick actions, like like pay now and get this bonus if you pay in the next 2 hours. This one, so yes, I think it's more as well like the creators for what they want to bring, or yes, like the strategy behind.
Yeah, of course,
Got
that goes more into the details of what it is you want to offer. Generally, what I see sometimes creators do is they'll have like a specific webinar right before a price increase. And so they'll be like, on the webinar, the price is going to increase after this. So if you join after this, it's going to be at a higher price. Those kinds of offers always work really well. I do also like being really careful though of like not giving like discounts all the time or stuff like that because then it like muddies out the perceived value of your offer. And so I generally like having a set solid price, and then maybe it can just be not necessarily like a discount but a bonus they get. Maybe they get a special like 30-minute one-on-one call with the creator or something like that, and that way it's not something that affects the price. It's just more so an added bonus that they get or an added resource that they get.
Perfect. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Anything else? Dennis, Kevin, Joseph, Tamzid? No? Okay, cool.
I'm good.
Cool. All right. So that's it for this list. And that's kind of it for the day. But we're going to talk about the next steps. So we've got Flight Deck, but weekly. Now, we've had this little 5-day boot camp just to kind of get you familiar with all of the things, ins and outs of operators, whether you're a creator or an aspiring operator. But we know that we can't get into detail on everything. Client acquisition. Can you elaborate a little bit, Tamzin?
Yeah, I think he means just like finding a creator to work with. Now, the reason we aren't going over that specifically is because, as we mentioned in the beginning of these, iGoosify, we get a lot of attention on Skool from creators and creators who are looking for operators. And so what we're doing with Flight Deck is identifying, people who we believe would be good fit for the creators who are actively asking us for operators, and then pairing you guys up. So essentially, you don't need to do any actual client acquisition yourself. I also, as an operator, everything that I learned was online, and so I feel like there's already a ton of resources out there as well on client acquisition if you're like outreaching to one. That's how I did it, initially. But so essentially here at Flight Deck, you won't need it. Maybe in the future we might do one for one of the weekly ones, if there's like a lot of demand for it or something. But that's why it wasn't included in this like initial section.
Does that answer your question, Tamsin? Or your hope? Cool. Nice. Great job, Santi. So, Flight Deck, but weekly. Back to that. Because we have this little 5-day boot camp, we can't get over everything in detail. To, whatever questions you have, we can answer, but we can't take you from A to Z on how to do everything. But if we have it weekly, our hope is that we can continue helping you, whether it's in different scenarios as an operator or a creator, on how to manage those two types of roles and how they work together, but obviously mostly on the operator side. And whatever feedback you guys have, which I know is C, so we'll get back to that in a bit. But because this little boot camp is designed for people that don't yet have an operating job, we just wanted to wait until we could get you guys paired up with people and then go from there and start answering questions, going into more detail on how to do your jobs from there. And that goes into B, which is pairing with a creator, kind of like what you were talking about, Tamzid. If you're a creator, helping you find an operator, and if you're an operator, helping you find a creator. That'll just be going on moving forward. If you want to find a creator, if you want to find an operator, I'll be making a post later today with a little survey on which side of that you are. And whether or not I do that, you can also DM me or Santi to let us know, and we'll try to figure that out for you guys. But at the end of that is feedback. So what did you guys like? What did you guys not like? What do you guys want to see moving forward? And overall, what you guys thought about this little boot camp?
Well, first, I will say thank you guys for your time, dedication to this. And I'd love to make a easy and clear road on how this is working, because as well I know that there are many creators as well that they know they need an operator, but they don't know what an operator is, or that even they need an operator. They will say I just need someone to admit, I don't know, my community or my DMs or something like that. So as well that help us to get a clear vision on how is this working. So yeah, thank you for that. Of course, joining weekly, I think that's a good way to keep updated as well for you from your side. What are the trendings? What are kind of the needs that creators are getting as well? I like to check as well the creators, what they post, what they ask for, to keep us on the workflow. But yes, I don't know, just excited for the next sessions. Yes, maybe get some simulations or something like that, in a crisis, what would you do? Or we have this kind of, I don't know, community. What do you think you can do, or purpose, or how would you kind of handle this? I like things like that. Just hey, what do you think?
Definitely like a scenario. That's awesome. Yeah, for sure. We'll keep that. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys putting this stuff together. As doing all of it, it's difficult sometimes to separate all these things out and understand what you can delegate and what you can't, right? Unless you're in the know or you've done this before, it's kind of, it all meshes together when you're the one person, right? So breaking it apart the way you guys have is super useful, and then explaining exactly the roles that each person is responsible for, right? Because like we talked about yesterday, it comes down to management at the end of the day, right? So being able to manage everything correctly is going to help you be successful. And I think setting those expectations out for a creator and a operator is super important. And I think it's super helpful that you guys laid it out like that.
Awesome. Thank you. Anything you want to see moving forward?
Hmm, I think a visual structure setup,
Hmm.
like kind of what we were doing yesterday. I think was it you or yeah, I think it was you that was drawing the circles and
A
stuff.
little hierarchy. Yeah.
Yeah. I think having a visual of that would be super beneficial. And I think Joseph actually asked for a template, right?
Yeah.
Something that we can a baseline of what we can go off of. Maybe it doesn't have to come straight from Goosify or it doesn't have to come from AI Preneur. I'm whatever, however you say that one.
I get it. It's okay.
But just a baseline, right? Because we can build on a baseline, but when you don't have anything on to build off of, it's difficult to kind of understand that process. And even with the little diagram that you had, right? Like Goose, me, delegation, like it makes it the visuals make it easier because I think people learn in different ways. So talking is one way, reading is another way, and then visually seeing things is, and then you guys are getting into the hands-on portion, which is the other way of learning, right? Tactile.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Great feedback. And yeah, Joseph, I didn't forget. I just haven't gotten to it yet. But I'm gonna build that out for you guys. And good to know that you also want to see that as well, Dennis. Thank you. What about you, Kevin, Timsid, Joseph? Looks like you're typing. Okay.
Mine were kind of already said, so
I'll say, me being newer to exploring Skool as a creator in the past month, just even, some of the lingo of, okay, an operator, what is that?
Hmm.
I maybe this already exists, but is there any Skool FAQ type of page where operator is explained? If so, it didn't come across what I explored through Skool. So at least having this is a great first step for learning about the operator role, and then having like a mini 5-day boot camp of going more detail and seeing examples. Then what caught my attention as I was looking through Skool games, and you see some of the top communities, I forget which one it was, but I saw that this very large community had one admin, and I thought, there's a team that's probably not just one person. There's got to be an operator or two there rather than just one admin. So kind of just something fun that I picked up on since I've been learning more about having an operator, let alone maybe a whole team. Something I'd like to see, just an idea. So I missed some of the days live, so I know that it's in the classroom flight deck. I see that you've got the video, you've got the transcript. Maybe if you can also post like the agenda document there, or any other docs that are shown within the video but could be copy and pasted into right above the transcript. That might be good for some of the different learning styles that was mentioned, or just to kind of get a preview of, okay, I'm trying to go to a particular part within this video. Where would that be? So yeah, like Control F with the transcript, right?
Yeah.
Or is the video hosted on YouTube? It's hosted on YouTube. So if you sometimes can click to have ChatGPT tell you summarize this, or where's that at in the video. So just that type of idea.
Yeah, no, that's a good tip. I didn't know you could do that. So that's cool. Yeah, I wanted to put chapters, but I was like, man, I have to watch the whole video again and figure it out. But yeah, ChatGPT can do that.
Yeah, big chapter. Sorry, big chapter is a good one too.
I'm sorry?
Big chapter is a good
Big chapter.
a good one. Yeah. Because I have to do it like, because we have classes like each day, and they are like 1 hour and a half. So yes, I use that one daily, and it's really useful. You get description, ideas for titles, tags. What is the other one? Ideas for the thumbnail. And if you want the whole description, you can get it from there. So it's really useful. Big
Okay,
chapter.
cool. I can't find it when I look it up. Could you send it? Maybe I'm not typing it in right. But thank you, Karen. Appreciate it. Before I go on to Timsid, was there anything else, Kevin? It was great feedback so far.
nothing else at the moment. Is this the final day, or there's one more day tomorrow?
This is the final day of the little boot camp, but we do have the weekly ones. Yeah, they'll be
Got it.
Friday.
Got it.
Friday at this time, like 10 a.m. PST.
Okay. My link doesn't look good, but I think what I'm using is chat GPT sidebar as a Chrome extension. Or maybe it's a Google Gemini feature they've included for Pro. I can't keep track of it all, but some things exist for, just summarize, or like you're saying, Karen, give me the thumbnail ideas and so forth. So definitely save yourself some time.
Okay, thank you both for sending that. Okay, got it. See it. Thank you. Appreciate it. It'll make it a lot easier. Yeah, so Temzid, you guys mentioned you might connect creators with operators you think are worthy and good, but we can't really do practice operating. We can't really do / practice operating to get good before getting someone to work with. Yeah, so a lot of it's the same as business in general. A lot of what you learn is on the job. A lot of what me and Santi learned was on the job. And so we could have you guys practice scenarios, like I think it was Karen that suggested them. But at the end of the day, which we will do the scenarios. I think that's an amazing idea. But at the end of the day, it's not going to help you with every single scenario, because every operator is different, every creator is different, every scenario is slightly different. So when we pair you guys up, you're never going to feel fully comfortable, like you're going to be able to do everything, but that's just kind of how it goes. And trust me, trust us, it's part of the process. So don't worry too much. As long as you put in the work, you'll be able to you'll be able to move forward. My question is there anything we can do to be a good candidate for that? A good candidate for being paired up. It's kind of, you just show up. You just keep showing up to flight deck. Just keep showing up to these calls. And if we can see that you're constantly putting, definitely Joseph and Dennis. I wouldn't say it like that, but thank you. What was I saying? So just if you keep showing up, you keep putting your foot forward, you keep asking questions and answering our questions and trying to be active with these discussions, as well as hopefully one day using your mic and camera, then we can feel like you'll be a good candidate. We think it's a pretty low bar. We just want you to show up, and then if you show up, we'll help you from there. Help us help you. Does that make sense, Temzid? Cool. Yeah. So, we do have 8 minutes left. This is kind of an open discussion. If you guys want to talk about like your favorite fruit or something, or any more questions.
Is the Goose beta going to be released or to all of us, or are we going to have to wait till the 10th?
Santi, do you have the answer to that?
So today it's gonna be a bit. I think we made a post about it yesterday, where the kind of like beta launch in a way is gonna be today. It's gonna be a bit of a like limited version. It's not gonna have all of the things yet. It's just for you guys to get a little bit of a feel of what it's like and what's gonna be coming. But then in the following week or two, we should have a full-on functioning one that you guys are able to use. But developing software is a bit of a tricky process and everything. And so, we give you guys these dates, but take it with a grain of salt, because stuff might go completely south at any moment and take a lot longer or a lot less. And so just kind of stay lurking around, looking into things, but you guys will get some information about that on today's Odyssey.
I just keep seeing him and he keeps distracting me, and I keep clicking on him, and it's like, oh my God, why did I even download this? Because it's distracting me so much, but I can't get rid of it because it's just it's fun. It's fun, you know. So every once in a while, it's okay to get squirreled into clicking on the goose.
It's okay. It
Yeah, it's
distracts
like keeps
us
you
too.
awake. And sometimes when you are, oh, like when you finish to eat or something, you have to work. It's like, but when you see the ghost, it like keeps you awake. You know, like okay, yes, I have to work. I need to do this. Thank you.
Yeah,
That's
I love
awesome.
them.
Yeah, that's funny. I didn't even think about it like that. It's just kind of makes you forget about business a little bit, you know, just having fun. So I'm glad you guys like it. Karen, did you leave us a review? We're trying to get to the top. Oh, you did. Okay, cool. If you guys could leave us, I'm gonna Kevin, I don't know if you have it.
Where? Yeah, this is the first I've heard of reviews
Oh,
for.
perfect. So I just sent you the link. So it's our little extension called School Goose.
Oh, okay. It's outside of school.
Yeah, well, when you download it, it's a goose that pops up on School.
Okay.
So he's just hanging out, you know,
Uh-huh.
just pops up around. And we're trying to get as many 5-star reviews as possible so we can take over the world.
There we go. Okay.
Good. I know you should. How'd you know? You got me. You got me, Joseph. All right. Anyway, guys, we've got 4 minutes left. Do we have anything else? Oh, and what happened to Goose's business partner, if you know and or don't mind answering? Bon, he just decided to go do his own thing. So I think he has his own community brand influencers. So you can join that if you want. But yeah. We've got 4 minutes left. If you guys have any more questions or feedback or anything you want to talk about for this last day, you'll never see us again until Friday.
It's like I'm gonna miss these classes. I mean, these classes are really good. Yeah,
Oh,
like
thanks.
this school is a lot. Thank you, guys. Your time. How was the flight yesterday? Like, where are you now?
I'm
If
in.
that's share, of
I'm
course.
yeah. I'm in Berkeley in the Bay Area. Sanzi's in LA.
All right.
Yeah. So we went separate ways, but we're still here. I know he misses me a lot.
Yeah,
I miss
like
him too.
like nice space, but don't go too far.
How long were you guys stuck?
It actually wasn't that long, like in the end, but it was still like, you're at the airport, you're exhausted. You never know, like, cause dude, there were so many issues going to Seattle, which is where we were at. For me, like before I boarded the plane, I got an email from my airline that was like, oh, we blocked your payment. You have to go all the way back to the ticketing counter before TSA and then figure it out with them. And so it was like a whole thing. So it was like I just didn't want we just didn't want to like start setting up and then end up like getting screwed over by the airline and not being able to take care of both. But I don't remember how long it took. It was such a blur.
Bet.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Yen, I know you've
Hey.
got a great 2 minutes out of this.
I'm waiting here for an hour to start. I thought it's beginning now. Sorry, I was confused.
I'm so sorry. That was my bad.
Yesterday it was different time. I thought it's the same time.
Yeah, no, that was my fault. I'm sorry. Should have
No,
made it clear.
it's okay.
But we have the recording, so make sure you watch it.
Great.
All right, guys. Thank you, guys. Love you guys. Take it easy.
Ciao.
Thank you, guys. See you.